President Yoweri Museveni has urged African leaders to take bold steps towards self-sustainability, moving away from the reliance on donor funds that often come with strings attached. The president highlighted Uganda's recent economic growth, which occurred despite financial sanctions from America and the World Bank following the country's passing of the anti-homosexuality law. According to President Museveni, Uganda achieved a 6% economic growth, proving that Africa can thrive without foreign aid. This was during the opening of the 11th session of the Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development, currently taking place at Speak Resort, Munyonyo.
The 11th session of the Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development is underway, with hundreds of delegates, both national and international, in attendance. During the opening session, President Yoweri Museveni delivered a keynote address calling on fellow African leaders to abandon the dependence on foreign aid. He emphasized that Africa has the resources and the potential to sustain its own development agenda. The president used the untapped economic opportunities in the agricultural sector to underscore his message, particularly in terms of job creation and economic growth.
As of now, agriculture is employing 3.6 million people. Industry is employing 1.4 million people. Services are employing 5 million people. And ICT is employing 46,000 people. We are just beginning, but you can see the jobs can be created.
Citing the recent move by both the United States and the World Bank to freeze financial support to Uganda following the passage of the anti-homosexuality law, President Museveni demonstrated how these financial shocks had little to no effect on Uganda's overall economic growth.
Mr. Biden removed us from the AGOA list. He chased us. That was one. Number two, the World Bank stopped giving us loans. But our economy grew by 6%. We are not bothered with all that. What is crucial for me of all this, apart from our own mistakes, the next most important thing is regional integration. If we avoid internal mistakes and we are clear about the regional integration, the regional market, there is nothing, all that things that happen outside will not concern us.
Earlier, Dr. Clever Gatete, the United Nations Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, expressed concern over Africa's recovery from the effects of COVID-19. He highlighted the continent's debt burden, which stands at 64.3% of GDP, stressing that this hampers critical investments in education, healthcare, and infrastructure.
Our average GDP growth since 2019 has hovered around 3%, which is far below the 7% needed to achieve the SDG 8 on work and economic growth. In light of the current global developments, it's now clear that development aid can no longer be considered a reliable or sustainable solution.
The Prime Minister Rubina Nabanja, who oversees the implementation of the SDGs, underscored the importance of the gathering, describing it as a demonstration of Africa's collective commitment to advancing sustainable development.
We are here, Your Excellencies, to reaffirm our collective commitment to principles of inclusivity, equity, and resilience.
The 11th session of the Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development, taking place from the 9th to the 11th of April 2025, is being held under the theme Driving Job Creation and Economic Growth through Sustainable, Inclusive, Science and Evidence-Based Solutions for the 2030 Agenda and Agenda 2063. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
The Commissioner General of the Uganda Revenue Authority, URA, John Rujoki Musinguzi, paid a courtesy visit to Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, today to launch Buza Kamisona, a new initiative aimed at enhancing tax education on UBC TV. The 2-minute TV segment will air every Monday, Wednesday and Sunday at 8:30 p.m., providing taxpayers with a platform to voice their grievances and receive direct responses from the Commissioner General.
During the launch at UBC headquarters in Kampala, the Commissioner General emphasized the importance of bridging the gap between taxpayers and the URA. He highlighted that Buza Kamisona will allow Ugandans to send tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790 141 887, with answers aired during the program.
We came up with this idea in an effort to try and reach out to the taxpayers and all the citizens of this country, but also communicate more effectively. Because for a long time, we've been having a number of taxpayer meetings, conferences, webinars, trying to sensitize and bring on board the citizens in an effort to widen our tax base. But then we realized that taxpayers and the citizens generally who should be contributing to tax who are not yet have very specific questions and pain points which we need to address.
This program comes as URA continues to expand its tax base. In 2024, URA added 420,183 new taxpayers, bringing the total to 4,881,983.
Buza Commissioner, ask the Commissioner, we believe is a very catchy phrase, and we congratulate you on coming up with that innovation. We believe that the ignorance out there, we need to use all platforms to see how we can bring into fold all the eligible taxpayers.
By the end of March 2025, government had collected domestic revenue amounting to 22.379 trillion shillings against a target of 22.515 trillion shillings, implying a cumulative shortfall of 136.64 billion. However, challenges remain in increasing Uganda's tax to GDP ratio, which currently stands at around 13.9%.
When people get answers to their questions, then the next thing will be their response. The response will be either to register for tax if they are not registered, either to increase their level of compliance, which has been lacking due to lack of information. So in terms of results on our side, we will see changes in the numbers on the register, we'll see changes in the collection of tax.
By integrating taxpayer education into mainstream media, URA aims to foster a culture of voluntary compliance while addressing systematic challenges like tax evasion and compliance fatigue. Wadulo Arnold Mark for UBC News at Broadcast House, Nile Avenue, Kampala.
Speaker of Parliament Anita Among has affirmed that the House commitment towards enacting the National Medical Insurance Law. The move comes at a time 25% of international travelers from Uganda are reported to be seeking specialized medical attention from abroad annually. This came to the limelight during the official opening of Healing Way Hospital in Bugolobi, where Fortunate Group Chairman Captain Mike Mukula saw a possibility of Uganda becoming a destination for medical tourism.
If all goes as planned, Uganda will have 2 new legislations to guide the health sector: the National Medical Insurance Bill and the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill have been earmarked for debating and passing. While the latter is at committee stage, having had its first reading, the former is not.
And those bills must be passed before we leave this term. I want you to make a follow-up on the National Insurance Bill, make a follow-up on the assisted reproductive technology bill.
The idea is to enable all couples and parents to bear children without breaking the law.
You should not suffer because you cannot be able to produce, but because we don't have a law in place, that should be rectified. Because we also don't want our people to do illegal things.
These will be landmark additional legislations similar to those passed in 2022. The Human Organ Donation and Transplant Bill and the Public Health Amendment Act were enacted to guide such operations.
Like harvesting kidneys of children, which in the law, the penalty is death for the individual. But for the private sector, it is 5 billion shillings, not negotiable. So if we slapped 5 billion shillings onto healing way, you would close.
Health is wealth, and without health, you can't enjoy your wealth. So each one of us, where we are in our homes, where make sure that we look after ourselves and those we are in charge of.
The success of this will partly take having blood banks established across the country.
Our shortage as a country is 150,000 units of blood annually. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think at a point in time you'll be called to open up the new blood center in Soroti. I think that's for the eastern region.
When this is done, 25% of Ugandans seeking medical attention abroad will decrease.
That Uganda stands to be a center of gravity in healthcare and health tourism. Why? Because we are in the center of the African continent.
Just like we have done in IVF excellently, just like we are doing in dialysis excellently, we are saying we can do it.
This will be the destination for health tourism because the Sudanese will come here, the DRC Congo will come here, Rwanda will come here, Burundi will come here, North Tanzania will come here, and parts of Kenya will come here.
Healing Way, formerly Paragon Hospital, offers services ranging from safe motherhood, fertility, and laboratory. It has officially been opened by the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among Anet, in Bugorobi. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you so much, Henry Okurut. Parliament of Uganda has dismissed allegations that both NRM and some opposition members of the House received 100 million shillings from the President as a reward for having passed the Kofi Amendment Bill. According to the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, these claims are simply street talk. This followed a statement from the acting leader of the opposition during today's parliamentary sitting, and that is Mwanga Chivumbi, where he urged Parliament to address these allegations, emphasizing the need for Ugandans to have clarity on the matter.
Social media platforms, including Facebook and Twitter and other news stations, were flooded with reports that members of Parliament had received 100 million shillings from President Museveni. The money was allegedly a reward for passing the Kofi Amendment Bill 2024 and preparing for the upcoming UPDF Act. In today's sitting, acting leader of the opposition, Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi, asked the Speaker to address on the matter, arguing that the allegations were damaging the image of Parliament.
The media and the print media today and for the last one day is awash with a gift of 100 million for each member of Parliament from the President of Uganda, and as the head of this institution, I'm saying the media. Procedure, Honorable. May I beg you, Right Honorable Speaker, with the due respect, that the country demands an explanation from the head of this institution of what is going on in regard to the 100 million allegation that is a gift to these members of Parliament.
Chaired by Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa, Parliament refuted the allegations, labeling them as street talk.
Because I'm a member of Parliament, listen, I'm a member of Parliament, I have not received any coin, neither have I received a call from anyone who has my money. Please, If you go and you have your dealings somewhere, please don't involve the House here. Because we approved the budget, we approved all expenditure of government. We never approved any item here called a donation from the President to members of Parliament. We never approved anything of that.
NRM Chief Whip Den Samson Obua challenged the accusers, stating that anyone making such claims must provide proof.
Each and every member of Parliament who sits in this House is paid through a statutory process. The member who was holding the floor alleged that members of Parliament, that implies himself inclusive. The basic principle of law is clear, that he who alleges must provide the proof.
Speaking to Emmanuel Dombo, Director of Information and Publicity for the NRM, he dismissed the allegations, further clarifying the party's stand on the issue.
To cross-check on these allegations to find out how true this information is. Even the last caucus of Parliament, Parliamentary caucus, we attended it, but there was nothing that was discussed to this effect.
In the same sitting, the newly sworn-in Member of Parliament for Kawempe Division North, Elias Nalkola Luyimbazi, addressed the House. He called on Parliament to take action in addressing the ongoing violations of human rights in the country.
A number of my supporters and voters from NUP are being persecuted, are being looked for by those in government, police. They are being persecuted, Mr. Speaker. Something must be done. To be sincere, we must practice tolerance now.
UBC News tonight. Minister of State for Internal Affairs David Muhoozi has considered an opinion by members of Parliament on empowering the judiciary to address case backlog than constructing more prisons. The MPs objected to the proposal of allocating 18 billion shillings to the Uganda Prison Service for accommodation and infrastructure to construct a mini-max prison. The House, chaired by Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayewa, deliberated on the report of the Committee on Defense and Internal Affairs on the Ministerial Policy Statement for next financial year 2025-26. Issues relating to the challenges which the Uganda Police Force goes through dominated the mixed reactions of members of Parliament.
Parliament resumed on Thursday afternoon to, among others, progress with the budget cycle for the next financial year 2025-2026. Thomas Tayewa, the Deputy Speaker, chaired the House where the Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Internal Affairs presented its report on the scrutinized ministerial policy statements for the forthcoming financial year. The MPs expressed several reactions on the operations of the Uganda Police Force, including the slow response to various crime scenes.
And yet sometimes they will always tell you they don't have fuel for their motorcycle. They will always tell you to first of all send money before reaching where there's a lot of problem.
Mr. Speaker, Kabarole, the greater Kabarole before Fort Portal became a city, had one police station. With the creation of the city, more 3 police stations were created, but currently they are sharing only one vehicle.
Although about 74% of police officers lack institutional accommodation, the committee noted that the development budget for the Assistance to Uganda Police Project will close in this financial year 2024-2025, yet Uganda shillings 52.858 billion is allocated for financial year 2025-2026. Additionally, the development budget has been further enhanced by Uganda shillings 164 billion for institutional development to retool Uganda Police Force. The report had provided for accommodation and infrastructure, allocating Uganda shillings 18 billion for the construction of one mini-max prison. But Kasanda South MP Kabuye Frank interested the House to consider empowering the judiciary to address case backlog than adding more prisons. The Minister of State for Internal Affairs, David Muhoozi, was in agreement. Government noted that the prisoner population rises by 8% annually.
We have been advocating and crying out to the government to come and let the justice ministry or the justice sector provide justice to these our young people.
So we need more innovative ways of addressing this backlog other than building more prisons.
The MP for Butambala County, Muwanga Chivumbi, described the proposed new project dubbed the 20 megawatt Nakasongola solar PV power plant with a budget of Uganda shillings 28.6 billion over 5 years from next financial year as an elephant project.
A similar project was piloted in Colombia. We spent 7 billion.
Mr. David Muhozi shared with the MPs the progress of the stipulated fresh mass enrollment of the national identity cards.
I want to announce that we are finally about to embark on enrollment within May. Our plan is to do a pilot on some government people.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Number 2 on the order paper, communication from the chair.
The police are encouraging the public to respect law enforcement officers as they carry out their duties to protect lives and property. This follows the tragic incident where a police constable was murdered by a mob in Ibanda district. Our crew engaged with the Commissioner of Community Policing, Anatoli Muleterwa, to discuss how the death could have been avoided and whether the officer deployed the rules of engagement during the incident.
On April 6, 2025, Police Constable Chemonges Sulaiman, attached to Bisheshe Police Station in Ibanda District, was deployed to provide security at a funeral where he lost his life. Sulaiman, aged 28, was overseeing the funeral of Kahanjire Lazarus, who had been accused of attempted murder but allegedly died while on remand at Nyabuhiche Government Prison. At the time of his admission, Lazarus was reportedly weak and had a medical history.
And his relatives were duly informed. The postmortem report stated the cause of death as rubber pneumonia and anemia.
At the burial in Kambogo Cell, Bisheshe Division, Ibanda District, residents accused Police Constable Sulaiman of being involved in Lazarus' arrest and detention. Police confirmed that Sulaiman was attacked by a mob at the funeral grounds. A video captured at the scene shows residents moving towards the officer, who was armed with an AK-47 rifle. As the crowd charged closer, the officer fired a warning shot into the air. The crowd, undiscouraged, continued to pursue him. He fired a second shot, but the crowd still pressed on. The third gunshot was the last sound heard. And then the graphic video shows a man wearing a purple t-shirt and black trousers striking the officer on the head with a log. His firearm was later seen in the hands of the residents after the attack. The police were able to arrest 29 suspects and recover an SMG rifle with 16 rounds of ammunition. Anatoli Muleterwa, the Commissioner for Community Policing in the Uganda Police Force, stated that the deceased officer had opted for reasonable options given the escalating situation.
In my view, he could have imagined he was dealing with an ordinary situation, a situation where maybe there was some kind of restraint observed by these goons who eventually took his life, and after taking his life they ran away in shame, in embarrassment and in fear. But we are hunting for them.
We also appeal to public to use civil approaches even when they feel challenged by any actor in the law and order sector.
The incident has raised concerns over the deployment of a single officer to handle a potentially hostile community without backup.
A senior officer of at least a reasonable rank, of a higher rank, not reasonable, of a higher rank, should be deployed on a bigger crowd like that, so that he can be able to reinforce adequately.
So the person who deployed him should be investigated. Why did he deploy only one police officer when he knew probably the environment would be hostile? That should be investigated.
Anatoli Muleterwa, Commissioner Community Policing, emphasized the need for regular training sessions to better prepare officers for such high-risk situations.
Training, and that's what I told you, the usage of 99. You know, ordinarily, what we call 99 is the ability to think outside the box, that not all the situations are found within the law. There are situations which are brought about, there are solutions which are brought about by common sense.
The police have assured the public that they are committed to addressing the gaps that put officers in harm's way. Tony Kent Chaze, Ivan Kahwa, UBC.
Currently, women make up only 10% of the construction workforce, a concerning statistic that highlights the need to close the gender gap and empower more women and young girls to succeed in the industry. This was emphasized by Kiara Binta Nkuranga, president of the Uganda National Association of Builders and Engineering Contractors, during a media address ahead of the Women in Construction Symposium set for the 11th of April 2025 at Sheraton Hotel in Kampala.
Held on the theme Leveling the Ground to upscale effective participation of women in construction and infrastructure development, the symposium aims to provide a platform for women in the sector and establish a central database to guide and support them.
We want to launch the Women in Construction Uganda chapter, under which we shall create a platform for support, mentorship, advocacy for women professionals and entrepreneurs in the construction sector. Because right now, if you just did a simple search or research, you will find that there are huge gaps, data gaps that relate to statistics of women in construction in Uganda. You will probably not find anything useful. You will not find anything recent.
Over the years, women in construction have faced challenges, including extended working hours that keep them away from their families, contributing to difficulties in managing family responsibilities, among others.
Women in construction suffer many of the similar issues that women in other spaces and other professions suffer: discrimination, pay disparity. However, there are some issues that are purely unique to women in construction. Long hours away from their families, even days and months away from their families, depending on the projects that they are working on. This, of course, affects the ability for them to raise their homes, their families, to have stable families, to have that time to be able to say, as a woman, I'm raising my family.
In response, Housing Finance Bank has pledged support for women in underrepresented sectors like construction, aiming to foster inclusive financial and professional opportunities.
Now, we have solutions for women individually, but we also have solutions for women in groups. So the long-term goal here is to make sure they're all banked, they're all united, and you know, as we all say, together we can go so far. So we want to encourage collaborations such as these, and as a bank whose focus is to finance a sustainable future for all, we want to be here holding hands so that we have growth in the next 1 to 15 years ahead of us.
Winnie Ainebabas Katwire and Crispus Arinitwe for UBC.
The Microfinance Support Center, in partnership with key government agencies, including the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and the Uganda Revenue Authority, have launched a nationwide mass awareness campaign to empower Emyoga SACCOs through training in value addition, product verification, business registration, and tax compliance. The initiative kicked off with Emyoga enterprises in eastern Uganda, Kampala, and the Hoima region, where regional managers from the Microfinance Support Center emphasized the importance of equipping SACCO members with the knowledge and tools to transform their small businesses into competitive ventures.
Center, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, Uganda Registration Services Bureau and Uganda Revenue Authority, an engagement was held to promote value addition among Emyuga SACCO's products in the eastern region, Kampala and Bunyoro.
So the Microfinance Support Center, basically we are looking at how to support these SACCOs, basically on how to register their businesses and try as much as possible to make sure that they get to know why they are supposed to pay tax. We are looking at certifying their products so that they can be able to get at least a bigger market in Uganda and outside Uganda.
Officials from the partnering agencies expressed optimism that this joint effort will boost grassroots businesses, increase household incomes and drive Uganda's economic transformation.
And what is the number one requirement for you to register your business? Is a business name. Tax is meant to be calculated on profits.
The trainings aim to enable local entrepreneurs to meet national and international market standards, ensuring that Emyuga products can on top. While officiating at the training in Jinja, the Deputy Resident City Commissioner urged Emyuga beneficiaries to invest in research, pay taxes and avoid counterfeit products.
Brand your products so that when I find them on the shelf of the supermarket, I can say, yes, this must be a good product inside it. And then you'll grow like the Indians are growing and the Chinese are growing.
Participants appreciated the Microfinance Support Center for the valuable training and guidance.
They have given us a great deal of information, and so it will be able to help us.
We want to hit all the shelves of the supermarkets when we have certified products. I have to buy the stamps.
During the Emyuga engagement and awareness sessions in Kampala and Hoima, the Microfinance Support Center Regional Manager for Central, Joseph Baraza, highlighted the importance of such collaborations in strengthening SACCOs and enhancing service delivery at the grassroots.
They will not have the market for their products, but also for those that are trying to do it without this standardization will be at risk of impounding their
We thank you so much for watching. Let's take a short break. On return, we'll have more news.
Come on, in my pocket, tambula about the street, issues are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission, internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netagayo karoni, nigga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
Mera ngenze mboni pa Sam anazanya ruto ganyiga star 278 then hash kujja kuba ngo oyingire mu kazannyo nga sente zino zimula wano zina wangu zino wano milioni 10 96 ebintu nasooka bilaba ku TV nange saasoka kikiriza ninga mulaye kino kinzo kubanga kituufu oba yaddala tibya bufere sente zona zifunye zona zikoze ki naziwangudde amasanyu nyina mangi ebyoto byange byembadde njagala ngenda bituukiriza.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulator.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
We thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Now, a rise in cervical cancer cases has been identified in Wakiso district, according to Dr. Frank Nduga, a gynecologist at People's Medical Hospital, Gayaza. This was revealed during a medical camp held in commemoration of the 70 years of the Kabaka for healthcare in Gayaza, Chadondo County.
The medical camp aimed to raise awareness about common health conditions with a specific focus on cervical and prostate cancer. As part of the event, community members were screened for various diseases, including HIV, and those diagnosed with conditions were referred to appropriate treatment centers.
That more often than not, women don't go for screening. Even when we put such services in our communities, there's still some denial, some don't go for screening. However, in today's camp, we're able to get some good numbers. Over 80 women were screened, that is between age 15 to 49, and we're able to come up with some with precancerous, with those that have precancerous lesions. And when we pick such lesions, we refer them to treatment centers.
Dr. Nduga expressed concern over the low screening rates for cervical cancer among women, despite the availability of services within communities.
We are putting up this facility so that we're able to handle most of the common conditions. For example, we have OPD services, inpatient services, surgical services, but we're also putting up specialized services. For example, if one has done surgery, more often than not, you need special services, for example, intensive care services, where you offer critical services.
The director in NRM Mobilization, Dr. Rosemary Seninde, congratulated the management of People's Medical Hospital for the services offered.
I would like to thank and congratulate all the people of Kasangati, Gayaza, and all the neighboring villages and this constituency upon the support they have been giving this hospital, because I believe if they hadn't trusted this hospital, maybe they wouldn't have put up this kind of infrastructure.
Seninde thanked President Museveni for giving opportunities to people who want to improve the welfare of Ugandans.
It is the reason we can see such investors coming up with this kind of investments. Secondly, the policies that he put in place, the liberalization policy and many other policies that have helped private investors to come up with this kind of investments.
The 6-story hospital, situated on an acre of land along Gayaza Road, will solve the problem of patients traveling long distances to access medical services. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
In a bid to combat sickle cell disease in the country, a health campaign has been launched at Uganda Matters University, Lubaga campus. The initiative, led by the Catherine Field Sickle Cell Support Initiative, in partnership with the various stakeholders, encourages students to take proactive steps through getting tested.
Over 30,000 babies are born in Uganda with sickle cell disease. According to Annette Nachanzi, the executive director of Zero Foundation, 80% do not survive to adulthood due to lack of awareness, early detection, and proper care. Daniel Roy Odwa, the executive director of the Catherine Field Sickle Cell Support Initiative, highlighted the importance of knowing one's sickle cell status and pledged to continue the campaign across the country.
Annually in Uganda, we give birth to close to 25,000 babies with sickle cell, but it's unfortunate that we have been losing quite a number of them. but through the Ministry of Health and some of our partners, we have been galvanizing our efforts to make sure that we have one consolidated awareness messaging.
Annette Nachanzi, the Executive Director of Zero Foundation, called upon the public to educate, test and destigmatize the disease, particularly among the youth, in order to break the cycle of silent suffering.
It's important for people to test for sickle cells before marriage. This will reduce the prevalence of sickle cell disease in our country.
Acha Mary Lillian, the Deputy Academic Registrar, applauded the Catherine Field Sickle Cell Support Initiative and their partners for their efforts in combating sickle cell disease.
But it's better to know, like they've explained to us, it's better to know because you might be a carrier and then you get into someone who is also a carrier. You end up getting the sickler children. And you know how expensive it is. It is expensive, life is getting hard to go for treatment. So it's better we know and then we find solution.
Students have also expressed their appreciation for the initiative and urged their peers to participate in the campaign to fight sickle cell disease.
Statistics show that you cannot live in Uganda and not come into contact with someone with either sickle cell or a carrier of the gene. So coming down to us, the younger children, the youths of the country, the future of the nation, has been great for us.
Cayenne Faith, Aisha Musanya for UBC.
Healthcare innovation is taking a transformative step forward with the introduction of virtual hospitals and holistic wellness centers in Zimbabwe and Uganda. These initiatives, spearheaded by the VACA Health Foundation, are leveraging mobile technology and physical clinics to improve healthcare access and enhance the quality of life, particularly for women.
A crucial meeting was held with members of the Nurses and Midwives Union to discuss the impact on how virtual hospitals and wellness centers can revolutionize healthcare access, particularly for women suffering from conditions such as endometriosis.
We're in the process of building a central wellness centre. It's a little different to normal wellness centres in that it's also going to be a centre for endo-entrepreneur activities. So women that do have and do suffer from the disease of endometriosis.
In Zimbabwe, the virtual hospital has already been developed, connecting patients with doctors, nurses and midwives via mobile technology.
Has several purposes. One is to look after the physical wellness. There'll be physical exercise routines and so forth for women. There's the mental side of things, which can work through psychotherapy, but also work in terms of empowering women to run their own businesses, to start their own businesses. So
the collaboration with the Nurses Union aims to raise awareness, provide treatment and create long-term support systems for affected women.
They are using the technology. They are using technology to see how they can talk with one another, share experience and also treat some of the people online. So today, when you look at the theme of our discussion, we are trying to work hard to what is behind it is to make the lives of the nurses and midwives better.
During the meeting, members of the Nurses and Midwives Union welcomed the establishment of a central wellness center in Uganda.
Caretakers are very important. Are the people caring for the sick okay? That is what we are trying to look at, and we are trying to see how we can approach government and start wellness centers in all the regions for the nurses and midwives of this country. These wellness centers will help us to get quick access to health care so that our lives can be better. Before we care for the patients, are we okay psychologically, physically, mentally?
Unlike conventional wellness centers, this facility will integrate healthcare and entrepreneurship, providing women with holistic support. These programs are designed to empower nurses and midwives with advanced skills, enabling them to provide better healthcare services. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
There has been an outbreak of a mysterious goat disease in Kabarole district, which has led to the death of over 500 goats from various farmers in the presidential Rengaju model sub-county in the past 2 months. The affected villages include Nshahu, Bwavya, Bokoni A and B, Kidubuli and Kichuna, all within Rengaju model sub-county.
Farmers in the presidential Rengaju model sub-county in Kabarore district are sounding the alarm following the mysterious goat disease that has devastated their livestock.
The disease is spread very quickly. It's like COVID-19. The goat can be attacked within a day. After 3 days, it is already dead.
The affected goats initially show symptoms of flu, coughing, watery eyes, bloody diarrhea, and eventually die within 3 days.
You call a veterinary doctor to come. He treats your goat. After treating your goat, the goat dies. If it is pregnant, it dies with its babies. And you make a loss of the babies, you make a loss of the goat, you make a loss of money. 700,000 in the treatment. All that is loss.
Bonnie Karamaji, a goat farmer, explains that the disease likely entered the sub-county when Black Uganda supplied goats from Soroti district to youth groups in Rengaju sub-county as part of a community development initiative. It is believed the disease spread through communal grazing, affecting the entire sub-county.
I'm requesting the government to intervene, come in, so that we can be compensated by this company called Black, because we were not the beneficiaries.
Some of the farmers affected had used funds from the Parish Development Model PDM to invest in goat farming, only to see their investments wiped out by a mysterious disease. They are calling for government intervention to protect their livelihoods.
Nkabanyene mbuzi 89 zona zikafa za hwa hataro habali bahire sente za PDM bazita mu mbuzi na hati embuzi zoni ferire kimu hati ntusaba government yatuyambe eyongere tuyukiro mulingo guone rundi aba Black abasasule embuzi yezi.
The district production department has sent samples to Kampala for testing to identify the disease, but 2 months have passed and the results are still not available. Meanwhile, farmers continue to lose more animals.
Na samples tukazisubmitinga Ntebe bazikazikebera uburwaire bwa contagious caprine pleural pneumonia abagambire pneumonia, then na pestis the petite ruminants. So tutegerize results za PPR.
At a meeting held in Rengaju sub-county, angry farmers expressed their frustrations and demanded a permanent solution to the problem, warning their leaders that failure to act would cost their votes. Asaba Frank, the assistant RDC of Kawarore, assured farmers that his office has launched an investigation to determine how the infected goats entered the sub-county before they were properly checked.
We are doing whatever it takes to make sure that we make thorough investigations. We need to find out who cleared these goats. If he did not clear these goats, why did he not clear these goats? Secondly, did he inform, or was the district leadership informed? If yes, then what happened?
By press time, the district leadership was in discussions with Black Uganda regarding the goat donation as investigations into the matter continue.
Kama nemo pocket, tambula body street, issues are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission, internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo kaloni, niga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, Welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Life in Uganda today comes with so many uncertainties.
Where will Madam get Kameza if I get an accident and can't work? If anything happens to me, what will Junior eat?
Yeah, Kale Musa is still in the hospital. Guy is missing a lot of money here.
With a monthly payment of only 3,000 shillings off your Equity personal account for Equi-Life insurance, you will be entitled to 50,000 shillings hospital cash per night spent in a registered facility, up to 20 nights every year. And your family will receive 3 million shillings in case of your death. Visit your nearest Equity agent to sign up today or call 0312 327 000 for assistance.
The Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs and the Ugandan National Rescue Front will hold a Thanksgiving event and revival of the West Nile Peace Festival. The Peace Day celebrations will be held in Yumbe District, West Nile Sub-Region on the 11th and 12th of April 2025 under the theme Consolidating 23 Years of Peace and Security in West Nile Region for Socio-Economic Transformation. This important event will be live on UBC TV on the 12th of April 2025 and the guest of honor will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Tiwahabura Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda.
Agriculture is Uganda's economic backbone, employing about 70% of the working population and contributing 20% of the GDP. As the world becomes a digital global village, ICT has proven to increase productivity in the agricultural value chain. UKUSAF, through its Strategic Plan 3, recognizes the importance of access and usage of ICT-based tools, information and knowledge for farmers by providing them the needed skills to live, learn, work and participate in a digital society.
We came up with a project which we took to UKSAF, and we're happy that UKSAF supported it. That project is called ICT for Farmers. What did we get from ICT for Farmers? We managed to skill up to 100,000 farmers.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Let's now go business news tonight. The 2025 Energy Access Investment Forum focuses on increasing funding for the energy sector and strengthening public-private partnerships. The three-day event in Kampala, attracting at least 600 participants, is organized by the Alliance for Rural Electrification and co-hosted by the European Union through its Global Gateway Initiative.
Electricity powers nearly every aspect of modern life, from household appliances and lighting to transportation, communication and industrial processes. The 10th edition of Energy Access Investment Forum is a leading annual event for the renewable electrification sector. It fosters business and investor partnerships aimed at ensuring sustainable electricity access, decarbonization, economic growth, and combating climate change, among others.
It's possibly the largest, or definitely one of the largest, energy access conferences that have been organized in Kampala to date. And so we are very happy to be under the patronage of the ministry to really bring big, small, medium European as well as African companies together, because this is very important for ARV, is this win-win relationship, right? Winning between public sector and private sector. We each have our prerogative and recommendation.
A key focus of the discussion is to mobilize significant financing for the energy sector and empowering public-private partnerships to enhance last-mile electricity access and connectivity.
Government is committing even financing, but the financing is not adequate and government cannot do it all. The technologies are there, but those technologies cost money. So coming together, development partners, the private sector, each one of these segments have got their strength. While government is good at policies and so on, the private sector is good in bringing the technologies and also delivering the services.
The Minister of State for Energy, Okasai Opolot, emphasized that Uganda is committed to expanding both off-grid and on-grid electricity connections.
And we are taking the two concurrently. If you have off-grid, a solar, that's electricity. When you are on-grid, that's electricity.
The Energy Access Investment Forum 2025 is part of a European program designed to mobilize investments in renewable energy.
But at the same time, to get economic growth, you need electrification. So it's a bit of a catch-22, and it's all about then priorities and, let's say, another option, loans, which one has to be a bit careful about, obviously.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News. Electricity power.
Cassava growers are destined to reap big as the presidential initiative on banana industrial development seeks to incorporate cassava processing alongside banana, since they all contain similar component of starch.
Contrary to the earlier plans of constructing yet another banana processing factory in Sanga Town Council in Chirhura district, government reallocated the construction of the same factory to Rebitete, just opposite the Engineering Development and Incubation Center in Nyakashashara sub-county. The land that government had secured in Sanga Town Council was later grabbed. However, Nagrik was again compelled by government to allocate 420 hectares where the designs for the construction of this factory are currently being held.
The design is a first point. After that, we are going to do the environmental impact assessment, and then we shall give the construction to start.
Speaking at the handover for site planning and designing to technology consults, Professor Florence Muranga, the Executive Director, Presidential Initiative on Banana Industrial Development, now turned Banana Industrial Research and Development Center, said plans are underway to incorporate cassava processing alongside matoke.
Yeah, we are in the process of negotiating with people of the cassava industry because they saw the level at which we have reached, and they really said, can't we go this together? Fortunately, cassava and banana are both starch.
Muranga now encourages cassava farmers to plant the crop on a large scale.
Some areas will be encouraged to do cassava, and we incorporate it in these drying systems so that we come out with premixes between cassava and matoke for export and for other applications.
Unlike the Bushenyi Banana Processing Factory, the Industrial Technology Park in Chirhura will, along with other technologies, be tailored to support banana farmers to produce better yields.
Not only that, we are coming in with the technology to support the farmers to produce better and get more bananas per hectare. So that means that their income base also is going to be increased.
The factory is centrally located and on a highway, which shall make the exports so cheap. Upon completion, the plant will create synergies amongst farmers on top of producing feeds for both animals and fish.
Because when they bring the bananas, they will be able to take the animal feed back. Yeah, so that is a very important aspect. And we're going to do animal feed not only for cows, but also fish meals, which is really important.
Mbarara Commercial Officer Adams Wisho has issued a strong warning to both guarantors and borrowers, stressing the importance of fully understanding their obligations, especially the responsibility to repay loans if the borrower defaults. Wisho says both borrowers and guarantors share equal responsibility for loan repayment under the law.
One, you are signing all the terms and conditions. You are signing to accept that in case this person fails to pay, you are responsible for that loan.
Mbarara District Commercial Officer Adams Wisho says guarantors must fully understand their financial responsibility, including the obligation to repay loans in case of default. Wisho stressed that both the borrower and the guarantor are equally liable.
I want to urge members that let them sign for people whom they are sure that they are going to pay. Once they fail to pay, then they are liable and they will always pay. Otherwise, the law is very clear. The borrower and the guarantor are the same.
This was at the 14th annual general meeting of Ruwindi Farmers SACCO in Kashari North, Mbarara District.
We are happy to note that our membership has increased, our loan portfolio has grown, the shares have also increased.
The SACCO chairperson, Reverend Father Dr. Godwin Muhanjiti Ndiewa, hailed the transparency and accountability in the organization's operations. Muhanj urged borrowers to use funds responsibly and to seek SACCO assistance in case of repayment difficulties.
Before one takes out a loan, one must have some financial plan. What is he going to do with the loan and how is he going to have the loan paid? In case one gets some challenges, it's advisable, instead of running away from the village, to go and reach out to the bank.
The General Manager Asima Moses reiterated the SACCO's commitment to working with defaulters to find amicable solutions, and he also praised the success of the parish development model in supporting agriculture and business expansion.
Our members have also benefited in the parish development model, and they have been able to invest in their investments, more especially in agriculture, and they are able
Crispus Adinitwe, Frederick Anyine, UBC News.
The income they
That brings us to the end of what we had for you tonight. Why we have Behind the Headlines at 10 p.m. So Newsroom gives room to the team. My name is Micheal Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakon and the whole team. Wish you the best of the night. Don't miss that program.